A theater actor who's graced San Francisco stages for many years has contracted the coronavirus. You may recognize Julia Brothers from her most recent work at the San Francisco Playhouse in a show titled Dance Nation. Well, she got sick while gearing up for another show in New York City, and fortunately, she has beaten the virus. Joining me now to share her story and how she is helping others is Julia herself. Julia, how are you feeling?
Hi, I'm feeling great. I am 100% recovered and consider myself to be one of the luckiest people on the planet.
And you look fantastic. Tell me about your journey to recovery. When did this happen? What were the symptoms that forced you to get tested?
Um, I kind of, one of the early ones, or what we thought was early. I got sick March 18th, and I got high fever, headaches, chills, no respiratory distress. But I went and got tested because I found out that a woman that I had just been working with very closely, we were rehearsing a play together. She had flown to Taiwan and she tested positive in Taiwan. And so they tested me, and in fact, I was positive. So I was very sick in bed for about a week and a half, and then in bed, not so sick for about 2 more weeks. And then I just all of a sudden was fine. I got started to get slightly better. I had a bad cough for a while, and that went away. My energy came back. It was like the worst flu I'd ever had and the worst level of exhaustion.
And we actually have some video of you sharing your posts and the news with your friends on social media. I just can't imagine what was going through your mind when you heard that what is a new virus ended up, infecting you.
I actually was very calm about it. I, I live alone, and I was too sick to watch television, and I don't have cable, and I knew that it was not good, and because I was, watching some stuff like on my laptop, but I just was really positive. I just kept doing breathing exercises to exercise my lungs, and every time that if I started to get upset, I thought of 10 things that I was grateful for. And at the end of that list, I was no longer upset. It's something I would recommend to anybody who's starting to feel anxious about, am I going to get this? Am I not? Do I have it? Do I not? It's things are going to unfold the way they unfold. And if we take a breath, breathe in, think about what we have to be grateful for, then we can start to concentrate again on what's happening in the present moment instead of the what ifs.
It sounds like you used your training from your profession as an actor to try and combat the symptoms and keep yourself calm, because you're talking about these breathing techniques. And of course, I met you through my husband, who's also a theater actor. Tell me about how having that training under your belt ended up coming in handy.
I guess just knowing that breathing is everything. When you start to get upset, you start to have very shallow breath. If you want to calm yourself down, you take deep breaths. And, I think that we all know that from before we go out on stage. The thing that we do is we take very deep breaths, we get centered, we get into the moment, and then we go on stage. That was very helpful for me. It really kept me calm, and it kept me feeling like I was doing something healthy for myself, because we'd heard so much stuff about that this settled in your lungs, and I had the reason why I say that I was concentrated on what I was grateful for was because I've had 4 friends that have passed away because of COVID, and um, and I realize how lucky I am, and I realize how hard the people that are working at the hospital right around the corner from me are working. And our whole block goes crazy every night at 7 o'clock, applauding and screaming and banging pots and pans, and the bus drivers blow their horns, and we have a big celebration every night for the people who are working. so hard.
I'm really sorry to hear
Well,
about your friends. I don't know if
thank you.
you categorize yourself as a social butterfly, but we do have some video of your New York apartment, which you are still confined to with the shelter in place, but you can leave for essentials like everyone else now that you're past the point of infecting anyone else. But of course, you were at the time under strict orders to stay at home. Tell me about that whole experience and kind of going through this alone.
Well, for some reason, I had enough sense to go out and buy, stock up on uh, food before, like 2 weeks before I got sick, and so I had a lot of food here. I had some really wonderful friends that dropped off. They would hook a bag on my door and of like fresh vegetables. Um, some people sent food to me that was already cooked. I mean, I had friends that really looked out for me. And so even though I was physically alone, there were people that dropped things by, and it made such a huge difference. And I think that that's why, for me, I'm so eager to give back, and I'm so eager to help anyone who is in circumstances that are more difficult than the ones that I went through. So I signed up. I've donated blood to different studies at different universities in the city here, and I'm going to go and give plasma at Mount Sinai, so that they can hopefully to help save some lives.
Yeah, now that you're doing well, you're fully recovered. It's amazing that you're giving back and doing what you can with that plasma, as we're learning that apparently these antibodies could help other people in either weakening their symptoms or preventing them from getting sick at all. And I remember reading about Mount Sinai just last month when they started launching that program, and I can't believe that you're one of the people that they're working with. What's that experience like?
Well, so far it's been great. I haven't actually donated blood yet because there's a pretty rigorous thing that you have to go through. And I would like to say, let's go New Yorkers. They have so many people who have signed up to donate that they are backlogged on processing everyone. But the people there are great, and I should be able to donate to them next week. So I'm looking forward to it. And and I would like to say too that the very first day I was inside for 27 days, that I didn't go leave my apartment and I didn't see another human being. And the day that I actually was cleared to go out, it was sunny and it was in the 60s. And when I felt the sun on my face and saw fellow human beings, albeit a distance away from me, but my fellow human beings around me, I really was flooded with such gratitude that I made it.
I just can't believe the things that end up coming forward, in our minds once we are faced with something like this, and being all the more grateful for company and people, and hopefully one day closer than this distance that we are faced with. But I'm just so happy that you're doing all the better now. Going back to the antibody test, because this is newly emerging, how do you qualify to be a donor, and what does that whole process look like? I know that you're still waiting on being accepted.
There are many. You can Google how do I donate plasma or blood as a COVID-19 survivor, and many things will come up. New York has them, San Francisco has them, Los Angeles has them. You have to have been diagnosed as having COVID-19. You have to be symptom-free for at least 5 days, and you have to be able to travel to a place where they can take your blood. And you can give your blood or you can give plasma. If you give plasma, you're able to donate again in 7 or 8 days. If you give blood, you can't donate again for, I think it's 12 weeks. So I would encourage anyone who has had COVID-19 to do this. And also, I would like to, I donate blood all the time anyway, but the blood banks across the country are desperately low. People aren't able to get surgeries right now because no one's donating blood. So I would encourage people who have not gotten the virus to please go and donate blood, because there are people that desperately need it.
And you're saying that you count yourself as one of the lucky ones. What's it been like to live through this history as a survivor now?
I have to say that even though I'm stuck in my apartment alone, I wake up every day and think, thank you, thank you. I woke up this morning.
Well, thank you so
Sorry.
much, Julia Brothers, for taking the time and talking to us about something so personal. And the best to you. And thank you for donating your plasma eventually once approved.
Thank you.
You're watching Chron On, the Bay Area streaming news 24/7.